Hello, it's Vegan Gary Carburetor, and I am back to Rush, where I belong. Like I say, Rush is that nutrient that you got to keep up on a weekly basis, or you start getting symptoms. So no more fooling around. Rush music reaction video. This is the stuff you want to listen to. And more coming up in the coming days. Today, we're going to listen to the song called Heresy. I guess that was just chosen at random. I forget why I'm choosing this. This is from 1991, their Roll the Bones album. Yeah, it has to do with life. You know, how it is living in the world. Brief definition of the word heresy: a belief that goes against a group or society in general. I wonder what that belief is. Also, against the principles of a religion. As I've said before, I don't pay too close attention to Rush lyrics because the music is so good, and that's what I really like the most. Okay, we're going to get started now. Alright, let's analyze this. I don't know what's happening in this verse. I think the first verse, easy to understand, talking about protests. Well, yeah, the world is full of ideology. What's with the marketplace? You know, on casual listening, I always thought he was talking about the supermarket. And I remember often listening to this CD while out in the car. And of course, I'm out shopping for food. Now, looking at that, I'm thinking maybe he's talking about the financial markets, buy up fantasy stocks, maybe? Well, not for. Well, let's keep going and see. Not that I'm trying to hide it, but I just gave away that I am familiar with the song. It's not a first-time reaction. It's just analyzing the song, giving it a close listen. And I haven't heard this song in years.
What else can we do? Do we have to say goodbye to the past? Yes, I guess we do. Do we have to be forgiving at last? What else can we do?
And this is an unusual bass sound on this album, but I like it. A lot of complaints from the community about the bass. Any bass that's not in the period, I guess the period of moving pictures. But I like all the sounds. Of course, this is not the best bass sound, but I still like it. And it creates a more unique, original feel for these songs. Drums are also kind of high-pitched. really sharp snare happening there. The guitar sounds great. Sounded great all through the 80s, late 70s, at least since 76.
Yes, I guess we do.
Yes, got a comment on that. Talking about war here. There's a lot of bombs happening these days. I did make one video about Israeli conflict. I call it a conflict because it's been going on for at least 100 years. And we really shouldn't be spending a lot of time thinking about it, man. There's no solution. They want to fight over there. But the important war is the one where we have to hold off Russia from just invading all of Europe, which is what they've always wanted to do.
From Moscow to Berlin.
They've got a world domination mindset, and for many decades they've been adversaries of the United States. We are mostly the ones getting in their way of taking over the world and turning it into a place where people don't have freedoms, where the government controls everything. So today's politics are kind of weird. So with the U.S. being in the way, that's why Russia has been messing with us. There's the ways you've heard. You may not have heard some other things that people don't talk about these days. There was an incident like 5 years ago. I think it happened with planes, where one of their planes flew right across in front of one of our planes. This was in like in international areas. And they did it with a ship too. And this is to mess with us. And the mistake is Putin's. The entire world is against him. Give or take some countries and leaders and businesses who might be corrupted by him and his money and power, but he's clearly in the wrong. And look, he won't stop. He's crazy. His own military has suffered massive casualties. All those wasted bombs, tanks being abandoned. Yeah, even a lot of his military is against the whole invasion, and they just take off. Lots of reverb on this album. Unlike, like Moving Pictures from 10 years earlier, no reverb at all. And the amazing precision, a whole bunch of notes in there can come through real clearly. Here, there's not as many notes to have to decipher. And they are an experimental band. They're always trying new stuff and trying to sound different. I was just looking in the comments, and I was reminded that Rush's songs often have two different stories in each verse, but the two stories are connected. And the person said that the second verse, or third, said one of those stories was about consumerism and capitalism being another thing that has created victims, I suppose, but it's not like the Nazis. So that would explain the marketplace. Now, see, maybe both of my thoughts about the marketplace there, both were maybe right. I was forgetting. Neil Peart does that. He plays with words a lot, uses different meanings of the same words. like the counter.
All those bridges wasted years. Who will pay? All those bridges wasted years. All those bridges wasted years.
A return to how the song started. It's pretty good. Long ending there. Well, I've covered a lot of ground. Can only think of one more thing. Wasted years. When people hear that term, a lot of people would be thinking about the pandemic. I don't feel like I wasted years. Maybe a little less than a year. I think it would be mostly young people who would feel that they've wasted a lot of time. But, you know, there's more to life than just school and the putting off of your career. There's still plenty of things to do in life to where it's not wasted. When older people look back, they think, oh, there's a saying, youth is wasted on the young. That was the time to be just living, enjoying having some free time. You're going to have less free time once you graduate. That wraps it up. What do you think about this song? And subscribe for more Rush.